Welcome to Sri Lanka, the Teardrop of India, the resplendent isle, and the pearl of the Indian Ocean. All these exquisitely poetic words refer to this incredible island nestled in the Indian Ocean that we have the pleasure to discover over the next 2 weeks. We've got an incredible itinerary jam-packed over a 3-part series. In this first episode, we'll be exploring the Cultural Triangle, referring to the most famous rock you may have heard of, Sigiriya, but also Dambulla Cave, and some hillside areas such as Ella and Kandy. In later episodes, we move on to Yala National Park. We'll be in search of the famous Sri Lankan leopard. And finally, we finish our trip along the southern coastline, where some of the most rugged and raw beaches await us. We're starting here this morning in a hotel very close by the airport because we got in super late last night, around 1 a.m. Our flight was delayed, an 11-hour flight from Sydney, so we are feeling a little bit bleary-eyed today, but there are rumblings in the jungle. We can hear people up and about making breakfast already. Our driver arrives at 8 a.m. He'll be taking us around this incredible island over the next 2 weeks, so let's go and enjoy this amazing place together. First cup of tea in Sri Lanka. We have arrived in Dambulla on our way to get tickets for the famous Gold Temple. This is Sri Lanka's most well-preserved and largest cave temple complex. So there are around 80 caves in this area, and well, that's the rumour at least, but most of the attractions are within 5 temples or 5 caves. Not unsurprisingly, there are monkeys everywhere, so make sure you hold on to your possessions because they can be a little bit cheeky, and grab loose items. Okay, for another small fee, our shoes are safely locked up and we're now entering the temple. From what I've seen already, just passing by on the street, the statues and symbols of the Buddhist faith are very intricate and detailed around Sri Lanka. Just taking a minute to sit outside and chill for a while. It is a really warm day and there is definitely very minimal ventilation in this place, but it's very intricate. The inside sculptures and murals are next level detailed. Outside now, and it actually feels a little bit stormy. Good old Sri Lanka, that's ever-changing weather. We're off to see one more of the cave temples here, and then back in the car off to Sigiriya. It's a quick turnaround time for us here in Sigiriya village. We've just arrived. It is 2 o'clock, just gone 2, and we have to be down in the lobby for 2:30 to make our way over to Sigiriya Lion Rock. We are climbing it. It takes anywhere between 1 and 2 hours, so I've been told. The gardens leading up to Sigiriya are absolutely beautiful. Our journey up Sigiriya begins with a little information. King Kashyapa is responsible for this ancient citadel that stands atop a 180 metre high rock, a massive slab of granite, and on top of that we'll be able to see where people lived, the palace, and some epic views. Halfway up the rock is Lion's Gate, and this is an amazing fresco, a huge sculpture of a lion, and I believe only the paws remain to this day. There used to be a head and everything, but over time that has been damaged and destroyed. But at the minute there are these huge lion paws marking the entrance of Lion Gate. Check out our safe looking pathway right here. You have to take that all the way around to start the hike. Just kidding. No, that's not for us. Now, the reason you'll see lots of monks here is because this is an iconic pilgrimage for the Buddhist people. Check out these views. Gosh, my mind is absolutely blown. I was expecting this to be a 1 or 2 hour climb. We've just done it in 25 minutes. So I think partly it's because it's not actually very busy here today, so we haven't been held up by crowds, and we are here at the top. Can't believe it. So stunning. Must be the King's Chambers, right on top. Let's go have a look inside, shall we? Oh my gosh, no, it's just a dirt patch at the minute, but once upon a time here was the King's Chambers, right on top of Sigiriya Rock. thing to keep in mind when visiting Sigiriya, and in fact any of the temples or culturally significant and religious sites, is just to be mindful of what you're wearing. So I read up online to see what would be an appropriate choice of clothing. I've been getting around in these Princess Jasmine floaty pants and a t-shirt over the shoulders, which is what I've heard is respectful. Just be mindful that this is a show of respect to the local people and to the local Buddhist people. I've noticed a little bit of a trend with people recommending going to Pidurangala Rock instead of actually climbing Sigiriya, which I think is a bit of a shame because it's pretty spectacular from up here. But I haven't been there yet, so we are off there next to Pidurangala Rock. Is it better to see Sigiriya rather than be on Sigiriya? Well, let's go find out. Papaya juice, nothing better. Delicious. But I think that's actually watermelon juice. Yeah, it is, it's watermelon. Alrighty, we've arrived at Pidurangala at 10 to 6 and unfortunately sunset is 6:15. However, we have been informed that the 5 a.m. sunrise actually is a little bit better than the sunset. So we plan to be back here bright and early in the morning, and instead looking forward to a lovely buffet dinner at the Sigiriya Village Hotel and Resort and an early night. You are going to love Sri Lankan cooking. Good morning from Sigiriya village. It's 5 a.m. en route to our driver who's going to take us to Pidurangala Rock. I have no idea how many people will be at this rock. We've heard it's popular in the morning, but I kind of feel like we might be the only crazy people getting up. Thank you.
Great stuff.
Whoa, what's in there?
You're coming to the top?
Yeah. We're coming.
Awesome, cheers, thanks a lot.
Oh guys, so we are not the only crazy people up here at this time of morning. We've got a couple of dogs and so many tourists. This actually turns out to be even more crawling with people than Sigiriya was. It's a pretty hazy, misty, humid day, so I'm not actually sure what the sunrise is going to look like. This was a challenging hike. There's a bit of bouldering at the top. Normally when I read an online review, I'm like, no, that's not going to be difficult. But I have a healthy respect for Pidurangala. How was that?
It's pretty difficult towards the end, but
Yeah.
getting down will be easier.
Yeah, if you do have a head torch, definitely bring that along. And we can see the silhouette of Sigiriya in the foreground. The other incredible thing about being here in the morning is just the sounds of the wildlife. I'm just so enjoying hearing all the birds and some bats, just as life is waking up for the morning. Well, there's a few more lovely pastel pinks and purple in the sky now, so it is making for a beautiful morning. And I mean, nothing beats getting up early, starting the day with some fresh enthusiasm. Let's go see how many people are at the top now. Whoa! This honestly has been way more popular and populated than Sigiriya was, with all types of content creators. So it's very busy, but there's still plenty of space up here to enjoy and find a quiet spot. Once you're at the top, it's fairly easy to walk around. Still looks a bit like the planet of Mars, so some good walking shoes are advised. Did you prefer climbing Sigiriya or Pidurangala to look at Sigiriya from here?
It's more of a challenge to climb this one, but certainly get a better view of Sigiriya looking at Sigiriya.
I preferred Sigiriya. So there you have it, 1 vote Pidurangala, 1 vote Sigiriya. I guess you'll just have to come yourself and decide. Woo! We survived Pidurangala.
Well, I haven't got down yet, so...
What an epic journey that was. Definitely worthwhile, and sunrise, not so bad. So our friendly driver has recommended that we take a quick stop to a local lake. I'm going to have to look up on the map what it's called because I couldn't pronounce it, to have some nice views across Sigiriya and Pidurangala. So we are now walking through the wild jungle in Sri Lanka. Well, this is definitely one of those off-the-grid experiences, walking along this lake, past local homes, fields, and so many animals, little puppy dogs, monkeys. Fortunately no elephants. I did inquire if they're around this area, but I think the answer was no, or unlikely. Anyway, I do feel rather safe with our driver. He's given us some excellent tips, and this is certainly a locals only type of experience walking by this lake. Pool time, come at us. Hiking is amazing, but relaxing is pretty good too. Next stop, Kandy. I feel like I'm being the naughty kid at school. Going to get some liquor. Liquor. Oh, what's that? Anchor. What have you got there?
Yeah, I got some beer.
How many have you got? Any for me? Did you read the sign?
No. You're not drinking.
First stop in Kandy is the Royal Botanical Gardens, or Peradeniya Botanical Gardens. There is 600 hectares here to get through, and we have about 45 minutes, so I think we'll just be having a reasonably brisk walk through. Apparently it's famous for its orchid collection, and there's some pretty impressive palm trees around as well. This place is huge, and we are just enjoying soaking up some more green in an already very green Sri Lanka. avenue of double palm trees, and these coconuts look surprisingly like the coco de mer in Seychelles. Well, I happen to have chosen an accommodation on the main street in Kandy. It's rush hour, the traffic is absolutely crazy, and we're trying to break our way back in to somehow park somewhere near the hotel so that we can check in. Gosh, Kandy is absolute chaos. We just forced our way across this road here. Made it. Hallelujah. High above the masses of tuk-tuks and pigeons and crows and chaos. We have found a nice little lookout. It's still very busy, there's loads of tourists up here, but we are able to take a breath. Kandy, the city, reminds me a little bit of Manila in the Philippines, or even Bangkok in Thailand. It's just busy. There's people everywhere, there's smog and birds and markets full of just people bustling around. It's very busy. If that's your vibe, you're a very busy inner city person, you'll probably love it. It's probably a little bit claustrophobic for me, but we are off to fill our bellies and feel a little bit better about life because we haven't eaten in a while, so that's probably also contributing to how we're feeling at the minute. So we're off to find some delicious Sri Lankan cuisine, which has not let us down so far. Waking up in Kandy and we have done a complete reset. Yesterday coming into Kandy was an overload of the senses. It was humid, there was smog in the air, there were vehicles everywhere, tuk-tuks beeping, you can hear them behind me. There were pigeons, crows, bird poop missiles coming from all angles, and there was just people everywhere. It was really quite overwhelming and a little bit unexpected, and I think that's probably where some of that disconnect came from. But last night we obviously went out and experienced our first tuk-tuk ride, and we had a bit of fun, and now we are off to the Temple of the Tooth. This is where apparently Buddha's tooth is kept. I didn't know that could be possible for so many centuries old. It was a present from one of the Indian kings many years ago, and it's a very iconic religious site here in Sri Lanka and in Kandy. So we are off to check that out, and then we are on the famous train, I'm sure you've all seen it, to Ella. We are driving to Nuwara Eliya, and then we will catch the train from there. So it's roughly about 4 hours. Our trusty driver, we call him Hero, will be taking our luggage through to our hotel, which is one of the perks of having a driver, I guess. You don't have to lug it with you onto the train, and you can sit down and take some of those famous shots hanging out of the train. Casually waiting for our driver. Poor guy has to rock up in all this traffic. It's probably worth mentioning that you don't have to stay on a main street here in Kandy. There are some much more delightful accommodations up on the hilltop, which have got lovely views and wouldn't be quite as stressful and crazy. So I just thought I needed to do this place due justice. We found our way to the Temple of the Tooth. Hurrah! There's a male entrance and a female entrance, so let's go check out this big tooth. It's apparently 3 times the size as it originally was. You won't be allowed inside the temple unless you're sufficiently covered up. So fortunately my handy shawl has made an appearance. Some beautiful gardens to pass by. There are 2 entrances to the temple. One is for locals and one is for foreigners. So probably best not to make the same faux pas that we did. So unfortunately no one is allowed in to see the tooth relic any longer since 2009 because the crowds were just too much to cope with, so the president put an order in. So unfortunately I was expecting to be able to see this big enlarged tooth. Side of the road we are being treated to some incredible views driving along to Nuwara Eliya, and we've just stopped to check out a viewpoint which overlooks the iconic tea plantations of the region, and shortly we'll be stopping to try some of this incredible tea. Tea plantation incoming! So that was a lovely little interlude to our day, a quick stop for tea and cake, traditional Sri Lankan tea, very tasty, the whole place smells of tea. We're in Nuwara Eliya, and this is the highest city in Sri Lanka at 1800 metres above sea level. Just going for a wee walk through the Nuwara Eliya tea plantation. We are looking over rolling hills of beautiful tea plantations. This is simply breathtaking. It is also the coldest because of the altitude. It's known as Little Britain. There's a high preponderance of Tudor style buildings here. Just driving through already we can see that. And we can't ponder or dilly-dally too long because we are off to catch our train. We should be on the 2:30 train, and it will take us roughly 4 hours to reach our next destination in Ella. bit of a frustrating moment right now. We booked a few weeks ago through Bookaways. They did not deliver our tickets, and so we did buy the second class reserve tickets, but unfortunately they didn't book them on our behalf, so we could just come to buy normal tickets. Anyway, a little bit disappointing, but we have got tickets. We're on the way to Ella. Life will be sweet, I'm sure, once we're on board, but these little hurdles, gosh, gotta love travel, hey? Coffee always makes for a happy traveller. Now snaking our way through the back streets of Ella to find our hotel. We've arrived in our Ella hotel, and check out the view of Ella Gap, which the hotel looks right out onto. This is the last town in this part of the video before we move on. We'll be exploring Ella. It's one of the hill villages in Sri Lanka that is very popular. The nightlife looks very vibrant. We're going to take a minute, unpack, and go out and explore a little bit more of Ella. One last critical piece of information I'm going to explain about this train ride now that I've had some time to reflect and some education as well, is that this little guy is vital. These are our two tiny but hard copy tickets, and this is what you need to get onto the train. You can't have an email or a printout of a voucher. You have to have in your hands the hard copy. No. When you're buying tickets online, they ask you to list the accommodation that you're staying in, and their intention is to deliver hard copy tickets to your hotel. We had no idea that that was actually happening. It is in the fine print. It is in the small print. That is on me, but yeah, it was just something that I was completely unaware of. There was an email that came through and said that the voucher we had received was not the actual ticket and that we needed to exchange that. So we had got to the train station ahead of time to convert the voucher into the hard copy ticket. No, alas, that is not possible. And the other thing is, we were told we could rock up to Nanu Oya with train tickets that were from Kandy to Ella and just get on the train. Apparently you can't do that either. Bottom line, I don't actually think you need to buy tickets, because most of the time people will be standing up and hanging out of the door frames, and it was so much more fun doing that. Just go with the 300 rupee ticket at the train station instead of the $50 online version. like a little Bali. Tiny village feel, lots of little bars, backpackery kind of vibe. Let's get some food.
Going this far.
Big days.
Yeah.
Food, glorious food. Nothing more I can wish for. Another popular attraction in Ella, just 10 minutes from the main city centre, is the Ravana waterfall and cave. Now, legend has it that this cave was where King Ravana, the legendary King Ravana, hid Princess Siti as a punishment to Princess Siti's husband for cutting off the nose of the king's sister. As with all major sites in Sri Lanka, there is a charge associated to enter the cave. This is what keeps tourism alive. Definitely happy to support that. That is a lot of steps. Jeez, Princess Siti must have been pretty fit. And King Ravana for kidnapping her up all these steps. Locked you in. The ever popular Ravana Falls are 25 metres high, and it's so busy because it's just on the side of the road. It's very easy to get to. Tuk-tuk can just drop you off and you take a quick picture, unlike the cave, which is a long, long walk. Just in case you didn't have enough train yesterday, we're off to see the train from outside the train by a bridge called Nine Arch Bridge. It's a pretty staple place and icon to come to in Ella. You've probably seen it. We are heading down to check out the height because apparently you cannot come here and not check out this bridge. I found a little spot all by myself. This is not a place I would plan to spend a lot of time unless of course you are a grandma or you need to spend quite a bit of time on your photo shoot. So I'd recommend just about half an hour, 45 minutes to take it all in, take some pictures. Of course you're going to have plenty of other people in those pictures. And yeah, then head off to find some more of the beautiful sights in Ella. It might be getting a little bit interesting now. I think a train might be coming through. Excitement is peaking. The train is on its way. And now that the action is over, there's a mad rush to find our tuk-tuk and get out amongst the crazy masses of all of the vehicles trying to leave at the same time. 9 Arch Bridge was a sight to behold, but we are pretty warm now out there in the midday sun, and what better place to go to next than 98 Acres Resort and Spa, Ravana Pool Club. So I am going to put a link here somewhere to my video on the Ravana Pool Club if you'd like to check it out. After our time at the pool club, we will be climbing Little Adams Peak. This is one of the quintessential climbs or hikes in Ella. It's not overly taxing, roughly 45 minutes ascent, and even less if you drive straight to the base. Down there you can see the Ravana Beach Club where we've just come from, and far away over here, that's the Green Hill accommodation where we're staying. Little Adams Peak, guys. I am precariously placed here in the middle of some reeds and bushes. I absolutely love being in nature. Thank you God for an amazing creation. This is so beautiful, and the breeze up here is divine after a really hot day. You simply have to climb Little Adams Peak because it is just so remote and removed from the hustle and bustle of Ella, but with the views, and you're gonna love it. This is amazing. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. The next scenes are of our Ella sunset. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We have loved our first taste of Sri Lanka in the cultural triangle and hill villages. Stay tuned because we head on to Yala Safari Park and then onto the southwestern coast beaches. This country is taking my breath away. We'll see you there.